So what clothes are we packing for a grand tour of Africa? Let's get this balloon fired up again and find out. The geography of Africa. Well, it's not surprising for such a huge landmass, over 30 million square kilometres, that it has a very diverse range of environments. Rainforest to savanna, islands to deserts. Talking of deserts, let's talk about the biggest of all, the mighty Sahara. Covering a staggering 9 million square kilometres, it is the largest desert in the world. It covers not 1 or 2 countries, but 11. Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, Egypt, Mauritania, Mali, Niger, Chad, Sudan, and the disputed territory of the Western Sahara. I see you've got your bucket and spade beans. Are you ready to make some sandcastles? Well, be careful where you head, as only a quarter of the Sahara is actually sandy. It's mostly made up of rock and soil. It's actually called a desert due to its lack of rainfall, not because it's sandy. If you do meet some sand though, there'll be plenty of it, and mostly in the form of great sand dunes. These wind-shaped dunes can reach heights of nearly 600 feet. That's twice the height of the USA's Statue of Liberty. Not high, but certainly long, is the Great Nile River. This watery environment certainly a sight for sore eyes and dry throats as it courses its way through the Sahara. Its length, including its tributaries, is over 6,600 kilometres and runs from the south to the north from its source in Lake Victoria. The White Nile, its longest tributary, runs through Uganda, South Sudan, Sudan and Egypt before emptying into the Mediterranean Sea. The Nile was really important to the ancient Egyptians, who built their vast empire on the banks of the river, using its precious water to irrigate its crops and hydrate its booming population. Let's move further south and into the Great Savannah. Nature really thrives here, and in huge proportions. This is where you'll see the so-called Big Five safari animals: the African elephant, rhino, lion, leopard, and Cape buffalo. They can be found in 2 of the most famous savannas in the world, the Masai Mara in Kenya and the Serengeti in Tanzania. These vast rolling plains are called savannas due to their wide spacing of trees and seasonal rainfall. But when it rains here, it really rains, causing flash floods. So don't get caught in a thunderstorm, or you might end up being eaten by a croc. Talking of rain, let's head to the rainforests, swamps and savannas of the Congo Basin. Shrouded in mystery and still yet to be fully explored, it is here you'll find the Congo Rainforest, the second largest tropical rainforest in the world, after the Amazon in South America. It covers a whole host of countries: Cameroon, the Central African Republic, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Equatorial Guinea, and Gabon. It is home to incredibly old and sizable trees, including the majestic mahogany. These great trees have sadly excited logging companies for generations, and deforestation is a huge problem. Many illegal loggers are repeatedly destroying the rainforest for immediate gain, threatening animals and people alike. People like the Baka, thought to be one of the earliest inhabitants of the Congo Basin. They still retain their hunter-gatherer lifestyle, using the forest as shelter, food, and medicine. Their knowledge of the forest has meant they have lived there for tens of thousands of years, and it is only now that their way of life is coming under threat. Governments and organisations around the world are helping to protect these vital ecosystems, animals and people that inhabit them, to keep them around for another 10,000 years. It's here you'll also find some incredible and unique animals, such as gorillas, chimpanzees, forest elephants, and the great bonobos. Let's get some fun facts on the great continent of Africa. Did you know over 1,000 languages are spoken in Africa? That's the most of any continent on Earth. 8.6 million square kilometres of Africa is filled with the Sahara Desert, the world's largest desert. The King of Swaziland changed his country's name to Eswatini because people kept getting it confused with Switzerland. The Nile is the longest river in the world, at over 6,600 kilometres long, flowing from Uganda all the way to Egypt. The island of Madagascar is the only country you can find lemurs in the wild. Scientists believe humans originated in Africa over 7 million years ago, probably from the south of the continent. Africa is home to the Great Migration of over 1.7 million wildebeest, who travel from Tanzania to Kenya in search of new grazing every year. The African country of Chad and the European country of Romania have nearly identical flags, only the blue differs ever so slightly. Including Africa's many islands, the continent has 6 time zones. That's a lot of watch winding if you're travelling round. Mauritania has some of the longest trains in the world, measuring a staggering 2.5 kilometres. They don't carry passengers, thank goodness, otherwise you'd never find your seat. Psst, don't forget to subscribe to our channel.